In this problem, they're telling us an x, which, it's not a number, it's kind of like an expression representing a number. They're telling us y, same idea. They're telling us some information about a and b. Essentially, the a and b are between 4 and 9, right? So a and b could be like 5, 6, 7, or like 4.5, 8.9, that kind of thing. And they're asking us to find x times y. So let's do that first. Let's do x times y. So we're going to write this out. We're going to write x times y, and that's going to give us, if I'm writing x, it's going to be a times 10 to the p, and then I'm going to multiply that by y, which is b times 10 to the q. And then we can rearrange this and multiply in any order we want. So it's going to be a times b times 10 to the p times 10 to the q. And then we know, using properties of exponents, that these two, we're going to end up adding those exponents, right? It's like if I had 10 to the third times 10 squared, I would end up with 10 to the fifth, right? That's just 3 plus 2, so we're going to do p plus q. So it's going to be 10 to the p plus q, and this here is going to be a times b. What they're asking us for is express r, which is going to be the exponent on the power of 10. So it's asking us for essentially, what is this exponent on the power of 10 going to be? Now you might say, oh, it's just p plus q, but we have to think about this, right? Scientific notation, this number must be between 1 and 10. So it must be greater than or equal to 1 and less than 10. So I have to think about, well, what is a times b going to be? So we can kind of think about what's the biggest a times b can be. So let's assume that, it can't be exactly 9, but we can get as close to 9 as we want. Let's assume a is 9 and b is 9. That's going to give us 81, right? So if this said 81 times 10 to the something, I would need to write that as 8.1 times 10 to the something. And what would happen here is it would end up being whatever was up here plus 1. And what's up here right now is p plus q, right? So it's going to be p plus q plus 1. Now we can think about, what if it's the smallest number possible here, which is going to be 4, right? So let's imagine a is 4 and b is 4. That's going to give me 4 times 4, which is 16. Same idea, right? I can't write 16 times 10 to the p plus q, because this number is not between 1 and 10. So I would need to write this as 1.6 times 10 to the p plus q plus 1. So the answer to this question is that r value, that power of 10, is p plus q plus 1, because the product of a and b ends up being more than 10. We have to put another 10 on the exponent there.